The word education probably brings to mind boredom, homework, stress, or lofty terms such as excellence or perseverance. To many, school is hard, unforgiving even, seen less as an opportunity to learn and more as an oppressive office job, being tasked with unrelenting paperwork and memorization. Some students might not get anything out of it other than what to study for the next test. But the integration into classrooms of a technology still very much in its infancy may prove to be the solution of student disinterest. Enter virtual reality. The idea of utilizing VR as an educational tool is not a new one. It's been experimented with before, back when the first real prototypes were being developed, but was regarded by most who tested it as nothing more than an interesting little novelty. However, the technology of VR has gotten more advanced and more accessible over the years, and in the eyes of the public, it started to work its way out of being considered an expensive gimmick to being thought of as a viable medium of media and education.
Well, technology is a tool, and it can either do great good or it can just be a tool. I just recently heard somebody say just because you give somebody an electronic worksheet doesn't make it innovative. It just is another worksheet done through a computer. I actually think a lot of retention and engagement happens when the students have ownership in their own learning process. It turns into allowing the students to work collaboratively with each other, like I just shared. That not only increases more retention, because you're talking about it, you're problem solving, you're writing about it, and then you present it in some way, either through writing or through problems or through a presentation or through a discussion. Engagement comes from an engaging lesson with engaging topics, perspectives, and questions. And so we always want to try to connect what you're learning to relevant world around you. When it first came out, New York Times, National Geographic sent these cardboard lenses where you could go immersive into a story that they had, and you can turn around and see the 360 view of that refugee camp or that mountain or that whatever. I think there can be really great immersive experiences where you're learning about something, and then you can put those on, you can go experience that same thing in a more immersive way. And so technology, when harnessed to allow students to explore new pathways, gather information, that's a powerful tool.
If a student feels like the topic is in some way relevant to their life or their future life, then they're probably going to pay attention, especially if the teacher is able to illuminate that. Hey, this is going to apply. This is why you should care. You know, a lot of what I teach, geography and some history, somewhat seems irrelevant, but I try to say here's how it connects to your life in some way. So I really feel like it all comes down to relevancy. I can't look at a heart floating three-dimensionally and have layers pull off of it and then tell me this is the ventricle valve or something like that, all in three-dimensional space. I couldn't really do that. Even in history, could you bring a digitized form of an artifact and talk about the Rosetta Stone's huge, heavy, and not here. But if you could bring it somewhere and then actually talk about potentially what the artifact's meaning or context is, I think that would really enlighten a conversation.
Right.
And I think from a kid's perspective, some kids don't get to travel much, and that feeling like you're there would be kind of mind-blowing, feeling like you're standing in the Colosseum. If we all put on virtual reality goggles and you were talking about, the Roman Colosseum and what my gladiatorial life might be, and everybody's standing in the Colosseum and everybody's looking around, you might not be able to get to Italy, but that would be neat to kind of go there. I could see that being extremely impactful.
In this increasingly complicated world, it can be hard to really connect students to what they're learning. A lot of real-life relevancy is lost in classrooms because Teachers simply don't have the resources or time to bring their students on field trips every day. And while strapping a VR headset on may not be the best option for experiencing the culture, technology, and art our planet has to offer, it's certainly a step in the right direction. For KYOT, I'm Julian Ebert.